Magandang gabi mga kababayan at welcome sa Ang Pinoy Facebook Live. Happy New Year and happy 2021. So tonight, since New Year, it's a special, very special episode. So this is actually our first Ang Pinoy Facebook Live for 2021. And since it's special and 2021, our guest is really special for tonight. So we will be talking about how to start multiple income streams using your creativity. So alam niyo po, our guest is very busy. She wears many hats. She's actually an author. She is a fashion designer. She's an image consultant and an entrepreneur. She is one of the founding members of the Association of Image Consultants International Philippine Chapter or AICI. She is the first certified image master from the Philippines of AICI. Tama ba? Tama ba? And of course, I actually look up to her. So yun ang pwede kong
Yeah.
sabihin. Without further ado, everyone, I would like to introduce our guest for tonight, Miss Delby Bragais. Hi, Miss
Hello,
Del.
hello. Hi, everybody. Hello, Jaisal. Fabulous to be here.
Thank you. I'm actually excited that you said yes for us tonight. You know, when we started Ang Pinoy Facebook Live last September, I've been wanting to invite you, but we actually want to save the best episode for you. So, eto yung unang bugso ng 2021.
Touched.
So, how are you, Miss Delbs?
Fabulous.
I love it.
O,
Talagang fab na
diba?
fab. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah, so our topic for tonight is actually very interesting, especially at this time. It's pandemic. A lot of people are actually looking for ways on how they can either save or innovate themselves so they can earn extra or they can earn more. So yun ang magandang topic. Paano nga ba? How is it, Miss Delbs? Paano?
Well, before I dive
Mm.
into my thoughts on earning more or having more income streams, let's talk a little bit about the current business landscape.
Sige.
Okay. Number one of the most important things na nakita natin lahat is that maraming natanggalan ng trabaho or maraming nawalan ng negosyo, nagsarado ang negosyo nila, nagkasakit for whatever reason. And one of the most important lessons I learned there is that it's always good to have more than one income stream. Kasi kung isa lang inaasahan mo, pag may nangyari doon, you are in deep trouble. So having multiple income streams is something that I think most of us Filipinos have to start thinking of. Number two, there was a dash for digital. So because we all have no opportunity for face-to-face interactions, then kailangan maski papaano ma-upskill natin yung sarili natin or ma-retool natin yung sarili natin para makapaghanap ng iba't ibang pamamaraan kung paano tayo magbubukas ng ibang pagkakakitaan. So that's number two. And number three, it's also very important na regardless of your age, bata ka, may edad ka, retiree ka, or regardless of your location, nasa Pinas ka, nasa Europa ka, nasa Amerika ka, o saan man lugar sa buong mundo. So it has to be something that is a portable kind of business. You can make money regardless of where you're at in the world. So those three areas of consideration is very important, especially when we're faced with challenging times. So for me, I have a business model which I am sure will be able to help you generate an additional income stream part-time or a full income stream full-time. So, ibig sabihin, meron kang meron kang nagtatrabaho ka, 9 to 5, or full-time entrepreneur ka, pwede to. So, what am I talking about? I call this the SAGE business model. S-A-G-E. So, anong ibig sabihin ng SAGE? S. It's a speaker business model. Meaning to say, pinagkikitaan mo ang pananalita mo, ang pamamahagi mo ng iyong mga iniisip, ang pamamahagi mo ng iyong mga kaalaman sa ibang mga tao at binabayaran ka para dito. So it's a speaker type of business model. A, author. So ibig sabihin, kumikita ka sa pagsusulat mo. So, you know, authors are usually thought of as creatives. They express themselves through the written word. So, ito ang isa sa mga pwede mong pagkitaan, and I personally experienced each of these that I am going to be sharing with you. So I had the opportunity to write a book, the title of which is The Purple Pig Wears Red Lipstick. 8 Steps to a Personal Brand Makeover for Impact, Influence, and Incredible Income. And yun yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina, Jaisal, bago tayo nag-broadcast.
Yes.
Because I was able to experience firsthand 24/7. Pwede kang magkaroon ng benta, natutulog ka na. So, itong pamamaraan na to ng pagkita ng pera, pwede mong i-set up so that you can scale it, pangmalawakan, you can automate it, and you can leverage your areas of expertise, your areas of experience, so that you can create books. And usually I would recommend non-fiction books. In my case, my book was a business book. It was a book on personal branding. So, yan ho talaga naranasan ko ho, yung 24/7 at yung automated. In my case, I put it up on Amazon, and it's an Amazon Kindle. And I also was able to publish. So I have a paperback.
Yes,
version nandito sa mesa ko ngayon. So yeah, I mean, you know, the only reason it's on my table right now is because I'm gonna go to the third area. So paperback, you can do this in the Kindle form version or as an ebook. And you can also do this as an audiobook. And the reason why this is on my table right now was because last night we just did recording of the book. So
great.
narration.
Yeah.
Narration. So it's gonna be up. So what am I saying? Speaker, author. Author, it doesn't mean only one. Author can be in different formats. So bawat isa ho sa mga formats na to, pwede ho ninyong pagkakitaan. So pwede ninyong ibenta yung inyong paperback format, pwede din ho ninyong ibenta yung inyong ebook version format and the audiobook version format. So 1 multiplied by 3 different ways of making money, correct?
Yeah.
So that's so SAG is guide. So as a guide, you can be a coach, you can be a teacher, you can create online courses, both delivered live or delivered in terms of being evergreen courses. So pag sinabi ho ninyong evergreen, ibig ho sabihin nun, nandun lang ho siya nakataas at pwede ho 24/7, may mga bumibili ho sa inyo mula sa iba't ibang lugar, iba't ibang parte ng mundo at kumikita ho kayo. Online and live, meaning to say you are facilitating, you are running the program, in a cohort, and meron ho siyang start, defined na finish, ending, and you are there interacting ho with your students. Ngayon, ang isa hong napaka-interesting na area na pwede din hong pagkakitaan is, aside from online courses, is coaching. And this one can be done face-to-face, and it can also be done virtually. And I have a very interesting story ho pagdating dun sa coaching na yan. Backstory ko ho is I do have a fashion business. And yung fashion business ho na yon is definitely naapektuhan ho kami netong pandemic na to, netong lockdown na to. Jaisal, I'm sure you know that.
Yeah.
I have a boutique in BGC, Bonifacio
Yeah.
Global City. And, you know, it was very shocking when I found out that there was no way we could open again. And basically, ang specialization ko ho are special occasion dressing. So we were doing wedding gowns, we were doing tuxedos and suits for men. So ito ho, ginagamit ho pag may mga malalaking mga event, wala na hong malalaking event ngayon. There's none. And so all of my brides would be texting me, some are not in the country, some are not in the Philippines, and they would say, Delbs, I'm sorry, I can't go there because it's lockdown or so whatever. So sa madaling salita ho, shut ho yung negosyo kong yun. Kaya ko ho sinasabi sa inyo na ito hong Sage business model na to works is because I experienced it ho for myself. And aside from that, I've been doing a lot of research on this. So going back to this G, which is the guide, aside from online training programs, coaching ho, try to explore that because that is growing. It's a growing industry, very, very promising because unlike before, when pag sinabi mong coach, hindi ba, Jaisal, dati coach, either sports coach yan, basketball player ka, or whatever, kailangan mo ng coach. Ngayon, medyo iba na. There's executive coaching. Meron ang daming klaseng iba-ibang coaching. Meron pang love coach for relationships and intimate relationships. There's business coaching. Ang daming klaseng coaching, and so that industry for me is one of the most promising industries. And you know, unlike if you are selling knowledge or expertise to corporations, because pwede din ho yun gawin eh. Pwede ka din mag-online course, you go virtual, and you teach employees. So corporations are going to pay you, or associations. Now ho, lumipat na ho lahat ng mga speakers because I'm a professional speaker. So which means that I get paid when I speak. But now I'm not being paid that. This is for the love of.
And thank you, Miss
For
Delby.
the love of.
That's for really Pinoys, for our kababayan.
For our mga kababayans. And sinashare ko lang ho sa inyo what worked for me. And yun hong masasabi ko sa inyo, either mga asosasyon ho ang kukuha sa inyo para magsalita virtually. So this can be administered virtual. This can be administered face-to-face. But the beauty of having income through coaching is that it's a lower hanging fruit compared to if you're selling to corporations, because corporations have come back and have started hiring experts. Usually I do soft skills, etc. So it's back, they're hiring. However, yun hong coaching, mas madali ho kasi one-on-one, isang tao lang ho yun. Yung corporation ho, magbebenta ka, ang dami hong signatory nun, etc. So that's G for guide, and E is for expertise and expression. What do I mean? These are usually for creatives that might want to express themselves in terms of designing and then selling their artwork, or whatever way that you express yourself fully and powerfully and passionately. If you are, let's say, a designer, or you want to show how certain things are being done, meron ho tayong mga lugar na pwedeng puntahan online, like Patreon. They will pay, if you have an audience that wants to see how you're doing something, then they will pay, they will support you. Or you want to design t-shirts, that's just an example, although t-shirts, etc., it is not a knowledge product. So mas maano ho siya, meron ho siyang mga shipping costs, kasi lahat ho nung minention ko sa inyo earlier pwedeng i-administer online without shipping costs. Correct?
That's very good.
Correct. When you speak, when you're an author, all of that. When you are a guide, you do coaching, you do online courses, etc. Is if you are selling your drawings, etc. Yon pwedeng ipadala online. But if you're designing actual products, then that's another version of making money also. But it's not fully online. So that Sage business model is my recommendation for you.
For the audience. Ms. Lopes, I guess the question of probably Sam is, how do you start selling Sage yourself? Kasi you've mentioned Sage. That's actually a very good one. And yung mga considerations na na-mention mo kanina, napakaganda. Regardless of age, locations, lahat. And malaking tulong yan sa ating mga kababayan sa panahon ngayon na nag-explore. Ang tanong ng madami, kunwari, marunong akong magsulat. Paano nga ba ako makakapag-umpisa? Though you've mentioned several sites. Paano ako masasabing, pwede na akong magbenta ng aking skills?
Okay, so I will, if you're asking me specifically regarding, are you asking me specifically about writing, or no, you're asking me in general?
In general, probably tips on how they can really start. Kasi yun, posible ang mga tanong ng iba, lalo na kasi syempre nag-iisip sila, how can I really earn? Ang ganda ng mga tips. Kasi meron akong nakausap minsan, she's around 60 something. She's actually retired. She used to be an editor-in-chief of one of the broadsheets. Medyo affected lahat. So, may mga ganon. Ang daming talagang nangyari ngayong pandemic, and a lot of people are looking for ways on how they can earn. Pero hindi nila alam on how to really start. Ano ba ang maganda?
Okay.
Paano sila makakapag-umpisa?
Kung gusto mong magkapera, eto lang. Isa lang ang aking recommendation. Simpleng-simple lang ho, huwag ninyong kakalimutan. May kodigo ho tayo. Share your gifts. Tandaan ninyo, share your gifts. That, for me, is the way that we can monetize our expertise, our passion, our experiences. Anong ibig kong sabihin? Gifts. Para madali nyo tandaan. May quiz kayo mamaya pagkatapos. Okay, the letter G means go within. So, pag naghahanap ho kayo ng papasukan ho ninyo, isipin ho ninyo, ano ba ang kalakasan ko? Saan ako malakas? What are my strengths? Because I always believe that you lead with your strength. But also, let us not be blinded by our weaknesses. So, as they say, in terms of leadership of self-awareness is one of the great qualities of leaders. And in this case, kailangan ho talagang magaling ho tayo in terms of self-leadership. So, alamin ho ninyo, kailangan ho mag-reflect ho tayo, which ginawa ko din ho talaga. Iniisip ko kung ano ho talaga ang kaya kong i-offer, ano ba yung strengths and weaknesses ko, ano ba yung mga makakatulong talaga. Kasi baka may strength ka, wala ka naman natutulungan na tao. Because at the end of the day, you have to solve a problem or you have to be able to help others. And number 3, it has to be something na willing ho sila magbayad. Eh kahit na ho willing ka magbigay, eh kung wala naman hong may gustong magbayad, then problema ho yun. So yung tatlong ho yun, where does my strength and my passion lie? Number 2 is, will it be able to help or solve a problem for others? Ano yun? Ano yung maitutulong ko sa kanila para mapabuti yung buhay nila, masagot ang mga tanong nila, matulungan sila. And number 3, meron bang mga tao na willing magbayad para dun sa iyong naiisip? So go within. It's a very reflective stage. Kapag ito ho, skinip ninyo, magkakaproblema ho kayo banda dun sa dulo. So this is step by step. Also, you have to really identify sino ba talaga ang tutulungan ko, sino bang kaya kong tulungan, at sino ang target audience ninyo sa Ingles. So G, I is into the future. You have to be able to visualize the kind of future that you want. So I have a saying, and it has to do with reinvention. Maybe that's why yung website ko na bago, ang ending niya, ang pangalan niya is Reinvent You. Because I believe that we all have the power to reinvent ourselves to be the person we want to be. So the clearer you are in what you're seeing for yourself, mas klaro ho sa pananaw ninyo, sa paningin ninyo, mas malaki ho ang chance na magkakatotoo yun eh. Let's say, halimbawa, iniisip mo, like when I started speaking, I was an accidental speaker ho. Hindi ho ako binabayaran nung una kasi hindi ko naman ho alam kung paano mangobra. Hindi ko alam kung magkano ang ikukubra at nahihiya ho ako. At saka, I did not know how to package the product. I did not know a lot of things, but I knew the subject matter. Jaisal, would you believe, ang topic ko lagi dati that I was always being asked to talk about was dress for success. So it was like,
famous, yeah.
okay, the dress for success, okay, fine. Mamaya, dress for success na naman, okay, fine. But it was actually accidental. And then later on, I realized, now wait a minute, why is it that other people are getting paid and I'm not? So I decided that I was going to move towards being a professional speaker, and that was the direction I took. And I ended up speaking in different parts of the world, in Asia, in there was Korea, there was South Korea, Seoul, and Malaysia, India, and there was Chicago. The last one was Chicago, Mexico City, etc. So what I'm saying is, you have to be able to see the future that you want. I mean, if you want to travel, all expenses paid, in great hotels, meet great, nice people, deep friendships and warm friendships, and be paid for it, but you have to be able to see that. So that's G and I. F is you have to formulate a plan, or in business lingo, you have to formulate a strategy. How am I going to reach those envisioned goals? So it has to be, when sinabi nilang very strategic, this is like big picture, long term, paano ko to gagawin? Kasi lahat ng kinikwento ko sa inyo ngayon, hindi nyo ho ito makukuha overnight. Like, Jaisal, there is a saying, it took me 10 years to be an overnight success.
I love
so,
it.
diba? So, sometimes pag meron ho kayong nakikitang mga tao na, wow, super successful. How can she charge that much? How come, she can travel to these countries and the companies are willing to pay her 6 figures for every time she opens her mouth. But behind that, you did not see all the struggles and the efforts and the upskilling at lahat ho ng kanyang ininvest para marating ho niya kung saan ho siya nakarating. So you have to formulate the strategy, F, and T, you have to take action. Kasi yung iba ho, I mean honestly, Jaisal, sometimes we want to do this, we want to do that. Nakikita ko na, may plano ako, nag-formulate ako ng strategy. Tumigil siya pagdating doon. Nasan yung take action? You have to do something. You have to do something. Because if you do not, even this one, I mean, to be honest, ang tagal-tagal ko bago ko pindutin yung publish. Because actually, this was already sent to the publishers. There were thousands of print copies that were published, but bago ko i-go signal to, yes or no. So I understand where you're coming from. It can be terrifying. I mean, nandun lahat ng mga possibilities of what ifs. Ang daming what ifs, di ba, Jaisel?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you don't do something, you're not gonna get anything. And the last is S, which is share your brand. And that is actually the secret why some people are more attractive in terms of business opportunities, because they have invested in brand building online and offline. Alam mo yan, Jaisel. And for me, if I was not able to build my brand long before nag-pandemic and long before kinailangan ko, wala ho ako dito ngayon. And hindi ho ako imbitahin to share.
At saka,
ako ho yung makikinig.
But I guess for everyone's information, si Miss Delby is actually very in demand kasi recently nga we were discussing about the recent invite that you got from Singapore. Ang dami pong nag-iimbita sa kanya, so we are really very lucky to have her tonight. Yung nabanggit mo, Miss Delby, laging sabi nga laging merong mabuting nangyayari, whatever it is sa pandemic. At least yung na-discover mo ngayon, what you're sharing is really something. Diba? So, from sage and gifts, pupunta lang ako dun sa gifts na na-mention mo, Ms. Tubbs, because you mentioned regarding doon when you were starting, yung sa pagpo-formulate ng magkano nga ba ang i-charge? Kasi di ba you gave some tips on how they can really start. Maganda yung mga tips mo. Ang next question ng iba is, how do you really compute the charging? Ano ba ang magandang tips sa kanila? Paano nila magsasabi that this is the right amount to be charged sa kanilang mga skills or kung ano man yung pwede nilang i-share?
You know what? First of all, what is the product? Are we talking about being a speaker? So you're charging for that? Being an author? Libro yan? Or what kind of book? Or what format of the book? Ano to? Online course ba yan? Coach ka ba? What are you talking about?
Okay.
Because, there's
We can start with, say,
Yeah.
yung sa pagiging speaker. What are the things that they need to consider when they compute and how much to charge as being like, say, as a speaker, as a coach? Kasi there are definitely merong mga tips yan or ways that they need to follow na pwedeng nilang maging guide on how they can really come up with a certain price. So being a coach or a speaker.
Actually, a coach and a speaker, I will have to separate the two because they're not in the same industry. Yeah. And the pricing models are different. I would have to say that the answer to that question, how much will I charge, is dependent on a lot of considerations. Like, number one, what value do you have to offer? Because you know what, if you are on the client side, it is very easy to see if this person has the experience or has the training to deliver the goods. Does this person have the testimonials? Does this person have a powerful and compelling personal brand? I mean, ang daming questions na yon, and they're all related to how much you can charge. I will give you an example. When I started speaking, I did not charge anything. I was speaking for free because, first of all, I did not know that people could make money speaking. All I knew was that people were inviting me left and right. I was wondering what was happening. later on, I found out that I was like panakip butas. There was this big time speaker who had to leave for abroad. He couldn't make the speaking engagement. And I distinctly remember the organizer, who happened to be my friend, going like, Delbs, you have to help me because we're talking about a lot of people. Sabi ko, how many people are you talking about? I think she said 3,000, anywhere between 1 to 3. It was in a big auditorium of a big place. So it was like, and a lot of people think that when they pay you, they're paying you for like 1 hour, like a keynote, or 45 minutes, 1 hour. But actually, they're paying you if you're 30 years old. They're paying you for all the years that you were preparing for that 1 hour. So yes, actually yes. So normally in the speaking world, the shorter the talk, the higher the price, because you have to condense all of your ideas. You have to make it succinct, and you have to really make sure that you hit all the high notes and make the main points of your talk within that time frame. So I think for all of the questions that you ask, magkano ang i-charge, you know what? I can just share with you, like from free, you can end up charging 6 figures.
Yeah, that's a
So
very
not
good one.
bad.
Oo. Yeah. Talagang not bad
bad.
themselves. Oo. So, ang
Not bad
importante,
because, diba?
importante, Miss Delbs, na sa mga nag-uumpisa, yung sinabi mo, you started by giving it like for free kasi hindi mo pa alam that time. And then yung mga considerations that you've mentioned, like yung branding mo. Tapos maganda rin yung nabanggit mo that the shorter the talk, the higher the price.
Oh, but Jaisal, since you talked about branding, again, branding is not something that happens overnight. It is something that goes on through years.
Yes.
So just in case anybody here wants to start their branding journey, you know, I'm happy to share with them that they can pick up this. I designed a personal brand assessment, self-assessment. So pwede nilang i-assess yung sarili nila doon. Pick it up from my website, www.reinventyou.net. So you will see sa resources. There's a free resource there, libre, na it's a personal branding self-assessment. So kung masagot mo yung mga tanong doon, okay. Kung hindi mo masyadong masagot, that means kailangan mo pa ng konting needs improvement and moving forward, stuff like that. But pick it up because it will help. And so that branding thing, sabi nila, when do you start branding? Actually, it's when you don't need it. That's when you should start.
Na-mention mo na, Ms. Debs, yung iyong website, diba? You've mentioned about reinventyou.net. Could you actually tell us more about it? Since I know na bagong baby mo yan.
Correct. It's sobrang new, and sa totoo lang ho, nung nagkaroon ho ng pandemic, doon ko ho dinevelop yung website sa kainitan ho ng pandemic. And that one for me is very inspiring when you hear the words reinvent you, because we all have to reinvent ourselves to be able to thrive and survive and thrive in these challenging times. So ang objective ko ho noon was I was taking my knowledge online, and then I started creating coaching bundles. So this is one of the things that helped me also, because Jaisal, when I started losing, there was cash flow problems already because there's nothing coming in from a boutique that was shut down. So the inflows, the cash flow was coming from other sources already. Hindi na dun sa fashion business ko, and a big chunk of that was from my coaching business. So I started bundling coaching services in different time frames. So there's coaching um, for a short time lang, 1 month. There's coaching for 60 days. There's coaching for half a year. So and they have different offerings. So I was able to ito medyo related to dun sa tanong mo din. How much will you charge? So this is also because I was able to package in that's a multi-tier pricing strategy. Ibig sabihin nun, syempre mas mababa yung mas sandali lang, tapos yung mas matagal-tagal, at yung yung mas matagal, kalahating taon. So that's one of the areas where I made some income streams coming in.
Wow, that's a very good one. Ms. Tubbs, you've mentioned several options. They're all present at your website. They could actually
They're
see
all
those.
present. And yes, so if you want to check it out, be my guest. Go to www.reinventyou.net. And check it out. Basta ito, ginawa namin, sobrang bago nung kainitan ho ng pandemic para ho maka-pivot kami. And so far, it's been very helpful.
Wow, that's because we have also sometimes we have viewers from abroad, especially those na naging guest na natin dito sa Ang Pinoy and mga friends nila. If they want to consult you or even our kababayans here in the Philippines, where can they ask questions? Can they go to the website or probably at your social media?
Sure. At my I will give you two. One is you can email me at delby@reinventyou.net, or I would say best is if you check out the website, because there you can have an idea what I did and where I went, so that just in case you get inspired, then hopefully makatulong ho ito sa inyo. But all of these are knowledge-based businesses, they're passion-based businesses, kasi ang nire-recommend ko ho pumili ho tayo ng daan na masaya ho tayo, na gusto ho natin at alam natin nakakatulong. So yun ho, ito ho, sa akin ho ito. Ngayon, kung makakatulong ho ito sa inyo, why not? Also, do follow me on LinkedIn. That's Delby Bragais, AICI CIM. And madalas ho ako magbigay ng mga tips doon on entrepreneurship, personal branding, and you can connect with me there on LinkedIn. At nire-recommend ko din ho sa inyo, kung just in case gusto nyo pasukin tong avenue na to, mag-engage ho kayo doon, because that is one of the really robust social media sites right now. That platform it's really very helpful, because ang mga nandun ho are really more professionals there, and they have decision-making capability, and they have purchasing power.
It's very important, the last one.
Importante yung purchasing power.
Yeah. Diba? Miss Dams, alam mo, mabilis ang oras kapag pag masaya ang kwentuhan. So, my last would be your message to everyone, to our kababayans na badly hit by a pandemic, and people are actually looking for ways on how they can better yung situation nila na meron ngayon. What's your message?
Isa lang ho ang message ko sa inyo. Tandaan ho ninyo. We all have the power to reinvent ourselves, to be the person we want to be. Good luck ho sa inyong lahat. I will see you around.
Thank you so much, Miss Delbs. That's a very powerful message at ang ganda. Regardless of age, regardless of your current location, you can reinvent yourself.
Correct.
Yes. At wala ring oras. You just need to decide and start reinventing yourself.
True.
Yeah,
True.
So, thank you, Miss Delbs, and thank you, mga kababayan. Isa na namang makabuluhang kwentuhan with Miss Delby, of course, very special guest for tonight. Mga kababayan, we will see you on Saturday for another episode. Our guest for Saturday would be actually a registered AMFT from the US. So magandang kumustahan with our kababayan from the US. And please do visit our portal. It's at actually www.angpinoy.net. We also have YouTube channel, and we will be also uploading this episode at our YouTube channel. So muli, maraming salamat at ito po ulit si Jaisal. Magandang gabi and thank you, Miss Delby. Thank you.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Salamat.
Goodbye.
Good night.